everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Breanna Nicole. So today I'm going to be doing a language video for you guys. You seem to really like these. So when I first uploaded the video about how to gain confidence in speaking, someone actually asked me what about listening comprehension, and I did respond to that person's comment, but I thought that I would make a video about it because there are probably more people who are wondering about listening comprehension as well. So the very first thing that I'm going to talk about is just getting over the fact that when you're learning a foreign language, it's going to sound like jibber jabber for a while, but there are things that you can do to help you speed up the process and help you sort of understand words, or at least recognize a word where you can write it down and you can look it up later. So the first thing with listening comprehension, I think the most important thing to do that you can do without anyone else is, of course, watching shows. A lot of people already watch shows like on Telemundo or something like that, or Netflix, but a lot of people always forget to put the subtitles on in Spanish. I think it's very important that the subtitles on are in Spanish or the language that you're learning, because then you're also reading that language. You're not just reading English. For instance, if your native language is English and you have a Spanish show that you're watching, at that point you're not really listening to the words that are being said in Spanish. You're just reading what's being said in English. You're just reading the translation, and your brain is not actually processing the Spanish language. So that's why I always say to make sure that your subtitles are turned on in Spanish. If you miss a word, more than likely the subtitles are correct. So you can go back and hear what they said and then write it down if you don't know what it is and look it up later. When it comes to shows, though, I do recommend that if you are an intermediate or advanced learner, maybe a show is fine. For me, I know that when I was learning and I was just starting to be intermediate and even into well into my intermediate phase, watching entire episodes was just overwhelming for me because there were just an array of words that I just didn't know, and I would have to always pause, and it just became frustrating. So I recommend watching short, concise videos on YouTube, which is literally the best thing about YouTube, is because most of the videos are very short and concise, and stuff that interests you. So that's the best thing. You can find any type of video on YouTube and you can learn vocabulary for things that interest you. So for me, for instance, I like watching makeup videos. If I continue to watch makeup videos in Spanish, which I already did, and I gained makeup vocabulary very quickly just from watching 4 to 10 minute videos in Spanish, and I quickly gained the vocabulary to make a makeup tutorial. So I highly suggest watching YouTube videos for your language comprehension, because they're just short and concise, and you can easily rewatch them if you want to, because they're usually so short. So the next thing that I'm going to talk about is, of course, listening to music, which a lot of people already do, because who doesn't like listening to music? Let's be honest. Listening to music is a great way to help you with listening comprehension, because you are literally listening to music. But to help with that, a lot of the times I would listen to a lot of Spanish music just on the radio while I was driving. That's fine, but if you're sitting down somewhere, you're not doing anything, and you have the music on your phone, look up the lyrics, because that is going to help you a lot. You can literally read as you're listening to the song, and then if you hear something, you can probably look it up quickly on your phone too and get the meaning. And also learn the words to the song, because when you learn words and you learn how to repeat them, you learn how to use them in sentences, you'll be able to use the words that you learn in some songs in conversations. So I highly recommend you guys, listen to a song, a few times, or a new song, a few times, and get used to it, learn it, and learn the words, because I do that all the time still. Because I listen to, for instance, a lot of Spanish trap music, and any type of rap music or trap music, it can be very hard to get what they're saying the first time around, because a lot of time it's just mumbling and whatever. So I listen to usually a song 1 or 2 times, 2 or 3 times maybe, before I'm okay, this is what this said. Usually there's always one part where I'm just I don't know what they said, and then I look up the lyrics and I'm oh, that makes sense. I think that's okay, that makes sense. So it's always good to do. I still do it, even though I consider myself fluent in Spanish. I still do it all the time, and I find it really helpful, and I'm always learning new words. So definitely do the looking up with lyrics thing when you're listening to your music. The last thing that I'm going to really talk about, that's not reading, because I've already talked about reading so much in my videos, is just talking with natives, which I've already talked about in all of my videos, but I cannot stress this enough. Talking with natives is so important, guys. The best way to learn to speak and understand a language is by actually practicing with a native speaker. You guys already know that I did a video about HelloTalk, which is a language exchange app, which I will have linked down in the description box for you guys, so you can go check it out if you haven't. Watch my review and how to use HelloTalk video. I will have it down in the description box for you, but it's so cool to be able to connect with people from all across the world at the tip of your fingers. So, you know, if you don't have any friends that live nearby, or because, you know, we're supposed to be social distancing and stuff like that, HelloTalk or even Tandem, I will have the name for the second app down below in the description box as well. It's called Tandem. You can download it on your smartphone. HelloTalk you can use on the computer, but I will have those two linked in the description box for you guys, so you guys can check them out yourselves. Natives are the best people to practice with because they know how the language works, because they've been speaking it their whole life. They can answer questions that maybe someone who has mastered one language as their second, they can answer questions that they cannot. So I highly recommend finding language partners and then making friends. It's much easier, like I said in like almost all of my videos too, it's much easier to practice with friends than just a language partner, because more than likely you're more able, well, you're more willing to tell, or maybe not tell, but to talk about things more in depth with a friend than just a language partner. So make some friends on Tandem, make some friends on HelloTalk, and practice the language that you're learning, because they have an array of languages. It's not just Spanish and English. There's a bunch of languages you can learn. So I really hope that this helped you guys with your listening comprehension and maybe trying a few things. I hope you guys learned a few things from this. Maybe you can try a few of my tips and tricks that I mentioned in this video to help you guys with your language comprehension. So if you did like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in my next video.